Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We've seen war. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities.
Turnbuckles and Stogies. Yo, what is up? What is up? Yo, happy Sunday. Another Sunday with your favorite hostess with the mostest.
My dad, I'm doing a wrestling match. I looked at her and said, hey, I'm on to Brooklyn, you.
We're not in Brooklyn, sir. We're in upstate New York in Dutchess County. I'm originally from Yonkers. Hung out in the park.
I guess you guys don't know each other that well.
Oh, yo, what is up? What is up? Happy Sunday, happy fun day. It's another beautiful sunny day here in upstate New York. We are chilling. We are just relaxing and maxing, waiting for our guest to come on.
He knows we're live. I told him.
You know. So we just like to say welcome to another show.
And we're back live this week, guys. Don't worry. We took a week off.
We might take another week off. Depends on how we feel.
Yeah, but you know what? If we take a week off, it's not going to be without content or something.
So
because last week we didn't put nothing out for you guys.
Yeah, we didn't do nothing last week. We were tired. We were shot.
But
this
okay.
weekend, on the 10th, we have, what's her name coming? God Puros.
Yeah, should be coming to hang out. I don't know if we're going to film anything, but we'll see. We'll see.
I do want to get the tent up here. I'm going to put the tent up.
We'll see. But if we don't need it, though, we don't have to put the tent up. We may not even need it.
So I got to bring up the other chair. So what's going on, everybody? Let's talk about some wrestling.
What are we going to talk about?
Let's talk about some wrestling.
What are we going to talk about? Or should I say, what do you want to talk about? Because there was...
Yeah, a lot of shit this week.
There was a lot that went on just last night. Actually, just all day yesterday. You had Worlds Collide at 3 o'clock. Money in the Bank at 7 o'clock. MLW War Chamber at 10 o'clock.
GCW we were watching just now.
That was at 5 o'clock. Yesterday was a busy day for wrestling.
Very, very busy.
Especially if you were in New York and New Jersey. You had GCW from 5 o'clock on. You had House of Glory, Mike Santana's Puerto Rican weekend.
Yep.
I think that was it. But GCW went all day from 5 o'clock on. I'm going to say till like 10 or 12. And then today they have Cage of Survival, and that starts at 5 o'clock. And that's a 2 or 3 hour affair. Ooh, hello, who's that?
That's just me. Sharing it out.
Nope, that's our guest.
Can't get on? So, our guest today is El Galan Cigars. So when he comes on, we'll get him in here. But I do gotta say, I do like that WWE brought back Ron Truth Killings, aka Ron Killings. That's what he's going by now.
Well, he's going by his actual name, which is Ron Killings.
Well, that's not his real name.
Yeah, it is.
So, you know, it's been a busy week for us. We actually Friday night we went to an event with Fred from Espinal Puro Cigars. We actually got Fred booked for that event, and then we went there. Guy throws a big event every year, and he has everybody under the sun there. Now he wants to do
Micro wrestling
and mini kiss.
and micro kiss.
Mini kiss. So, you know. So we'll wait and see what happens there.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to help our guest get on.
You know, our guest has a translator because he doesn't speak English. When he talks to Joey, they both got to use Google Translate. So, you know. But I smoked one of his cigars. This is the other one I'm getting ready to smoke. The Sentimento. When he gets on, I'll light it up. I think it's a Habano. I think.
I actually have all that information that we can actually pull up.
I think it's a Habano.
So yeah. So last night was Worldwide, AAA, and
There he is.
WWE. That is the first time in 31 years since the first event. And it's been 31 years since that event. And Rey Mysterio is a part of the first one and this one. And I don't think it's the last we'll see of this one.
Nope.
Because it was...
The OT from Mexico came on and said, this is 31 years old. And Rey Mysterio said, I was 16 when I started.
Yep. That was a good event. That was from start to finish. That event was absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, he's got his translator.
We had a blast watching that event. That was fantastic to finally see somebody like myself who's a fan of that type of wrestling, the lucha libre style.
Correct.
And you know, the fast-paced action. That was big for me to watch on even though it was on YouTube, to see them get that national exposure,
right,
that they so well deserve for how many years now?
Correct.
I mean, really look at all the products that came out of there. You know, as much as people don't like to mention his name, you had Del Rio come out of there. You had Rey Mysterio, Pentagon, Rey Fenix, Conan, Eddie, Art Bar, Negro Casas.
I mean, you had everybody come out of there.
Just about everybody who has come from that style has either come through that system or trained in that system.
And always remember, Lucha Libre, they all work the left.
They do.
They all work the left.
They work the left side. That's just how they're taught. Like we all work in the American style, you work the right side.
Correct.
You work with the right side.
Correct.
Lucha Libre, you work with the left side. Japan, they just work with everything.
Yeah.
Japan just breaks you down from top to bottom, and that's too bad if you don't like it. If we're just being serious. No, that Worlds Collide show was, I mean, the reception they got, you know, from the Lucha Libre wrestlers, from the AAA wrestlers to the WWE guys, to the NXT kids that were a part of it.
Right.
You know, that shows that a lot of those guys can hang on the main stage.
Right.
You know, especially with Lola Vice and Javon Evans, you know, going out and showing out like that with, you know, Stephanie Vaquer, Dalis, Chica Tormenta. You know, to be able to do that and hang with them was insane. You know, and then Vikingo to come out and get the reception he got wrestling Chad Gable, which was awesome. You know, that was an absolutely fantastic show from top to bottom. And actually, you got a match out of that show. Because in the first match, with Octagon, Dominic Mysterio and him attacked each other, and they got a match on Money in the Bank.
Right.
So that's what I mean by the national exposure, nationwide, worldwide exposure is, you know, he went from that to AAA, and now he went from AAA earlier in the day, which a lot of the guys did from AAA. Worlds Collide. They went to Money in the Bank. You had Stephanie who competed earlier. El Grande Americano, which sounds like a latte.
Grande Americano. We all know what CB means.
No, CG is Chad Gable.
CG is Chad Gable on his
but
boots.
that'll be released at a later date, I'm sure. Again, Money in the Bank was another show that was top to bottom really good. They had 6 matches, and that show from top to bottom was good. The men's Money in the Bank, obviously, as always, shows out. The women showed out like they should have for that match. John Cena and Logan Paul and Jay and Cody obviously was a show to begin with.
And then when you had Ron and Truth Killings come back.
And then Ron Killings came back and laid out John Cena. Now, where you go with that, I think you go with that. And the next event, they run that. They run that back and let Ron be Ron.
Correct.
They let him be the star that he can be, the NWA champion. You know, that
Correct.
former championship lineage that he has. They should just let him be that.
What, are both Felix?
No, yeah, I think so. So, you know, I'm curious to see where they go with Ron now.
I don't know.
I'm not that R-Truth wasn't good, but I think the R-Truth gimmick itself ran its course.
You know what? I forgot my new hat.
I
have a new hat for you people. I'm gonna go get it when we take this commercial.
You know what I mean? I think that ran its course at this point. The R-Truth gimmick, and it's not. It wasn't a bad gimmick, but now I think it's time. He drops the R-Truth and he comes out as Ron Killings or Ron the Truth Killings, however you want to do it. But as going forward, that Ron Killings is the name he's gonna go by. We'll see what they do with that.
And let's give a shout out to MBR Radio. Let's give a shout out to BAMF Cigars.
Espinal Puro Cigars.
Espinal Puro.
Which, by the way, speaking of Espinal Puro, when we were with him on Friday, he gave us a taste, or two of his new unreleased cigars that are coming out soon called the Little Beast. And it is fantastic.
Y'all better have a fucking sandwich.
It's going to be, it's not a.
Y'all better have a sandwich before you eat it.
It's going to be a fantastic show.
Ask him what's going on, right? That's him.
So that's going to be a fantastic cigar for when you guys come out. We'll have him back on the show with that one.
Yes, he's going to come back.
Already spoke to him. That's a done deal. He's going to be back. So, you know, that's something you guys are going to look forward to. But I mean, listen, if you didn't go watch Worlds Collide yesterday,
then you're fucked up.
If you didn't watch Money in the Bank yesterday, I suggest that you go back today.
I even watched now. I was falling asleep.
Today, right? Today on Sunday, after the show at 12:30, I suggest you guys.
I was falling asleep.
Go on YouTube, watch Worlds Collide, and I suggest you go to Peacock and you watch Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank was slamming.
And when you're done with Money in the Bank and Worlds Collide, what you can do is you can go to YouTube and you can watch Major League Wrestling's War Chamber, because that, again, was a great show. And then, obviously, you guys don't have Triller. Most of you might not. If you do, I suggest you go watch
Triller.
If you're a
Triller.
Well, Triller has a little bit of everything for everybody, not just GCW. not just all the other shows. They have another show as well. You can go back and watch their first 2 shows.
Right.
ACW. You could go watch the Poughkeepsie Rumble, and you could go watch. Oh my God, what's the name of the second show? I forget.
I don't know, but the third show's coming up in
The
July
third
18th.
show, Fallout, is coming up July 18th. So you should definitely go watch those as well on there. Awesome Championship Wrestling. Shows were phenomenal. I mean, you watched both shows. They were awesome.
Yes,
they were very good.
They were good.
They were fantastic.
They were good shows.
For a new company starting out, to have those 2 shows back to back within a couple of months of each other.
And then to bring Raven in. And
Raven,
Sandman,
Dreamer,
Crowbar.
Crowbar.
I mean, this guy's outrageous.
They're doing Joe Gertner,
who turned on him, by the way.
Yeah, but those shows were phenomenal. If you're a deathmatch fan or appreciate that art of wrestling, that's on there as well with GCW and Game Changer Wrestling. I was in the middle of actually watching Tournament of Survival 10 before I came on here. And now tonight at 5 o'clock is Cage of Survival. So it's going to be, I think the main event is Joey Janela and Atticus Kogar in a dog collar match inside the cage. That's going to be fun. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be very fun. So, listen.
Guys, we got to take a commercial break.
Yep, our guest is here, so we're going to take a break.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. See you.
And I got to show you guys the new updated logo, too, when we come back, that I worked on and revamped.
What you got, why you got it good. Always just a little misunderstood. But I never tried to change you, even when you're drunk all day. Every time you break, it breaks my heart. Watching you drown yourself and fall apart. You're killing yourself, and it's killing me to have to say. Though it hurts so much, 'cause I love you. You were my best friend. You were my muse. The story with a good end. My rhythm blues. You were my soulmate. A damaged man. And I paid for it as much as I think I can. And I thought in the end you'd miss me. But I guess I wasn't stronger than the whiskey. I've heard it only hurts 'cause you love so deep. Letting you go after all the cheap shots you take of me and Jameson. Your daddy don't help, no, he feeds you lies. And you're wondering why you can't sleep at night in the bed I made. Oh, I thought you were the one, 'cause you were my best friend. You were my muse. The story with a good end. My rhythm blues. You were my soulmate. Damaged man. And I paid for it as much but I guess I wasn't stronger than the whiskey. Not stronger than whiskey.
Yo, what is up? What is up? We are back. I am the big dog. He is the Vanilla Gorilla, and we are the best podcast on the internet, Turnbuckles and Stogies Pod. Just so y'all know, we in the top 100.
According to AI.
We in the top 100.
According to AI, and I'll read it directly from what I got, because I didn't get this. Somebody it got sent to me. So for cigar reviews on Apple Podcasts, Turnbuckles and Stogies appears as result number 44, but it also appears as number 53 for cigar brands and 74 for special appearances.
So that's what we do. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we bringing on our guest, Mr. Felix Mesa and El Galan Cigars.
Hold on, guys. Give me a second. There we go.
The interview of the week is brought to you by Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
And we are here, guys.
We are here.
1 and 2.
Welcome, welcome.
Buenos días.
Buenos dias. How you doing?
Good morning. Mira, les presento a Juan. Juan Muñez, buen amigo mío, y nos va a traducir. Juan Muñez también está en la industria, para el que no lo conozca, y tiene su marca que se llama Collaba Cigar.
So basically, he's telling the audience that I'll be translating for him at no charge.
Well, I appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule to come on.
He's a great friend of mine. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure joining you guys. So basically, his name is Felix Mesa from El Galan Cigars, and he'll be, you guys will take over, and I'll just be the middleman in a good way.
So how long have you been doing cigars, Felix?
Félix, ellos quieren saber por cuánto tiempo usted ha estado haciendo en la industria, vaya, toda tu vida, pero dile.
Bueno, en la industria, dile que en Estados Unidos empecé en el 2010.
Okay. In the cigar industry in the United States, he started it in 2010 with El Galan Cigars.
Pero desde Cuba, si ellos han mirado y como les expliqué, vengo de una familia tabacalera de cuarta generación, que soy la cuarta generación.
But if you trace his roots back to Cuba, his family, he's actually a fourth generation cigar grower and cigar maker. Wow. So he's actually the fourth generation.
Wow. You know, we've had people like that on here, and we appreciate them again, like I said. And I appreciate them sending us cigars because the other box is still in the mail.
Is still somewhere in the post office system. We have no idea where it is.
The one that he sent overnight, we got the next day. The other one is still floating around somewhere because I filed a complaint with the post office and I still haven't seen it. So, just let them know that it's still floating around. As soon as I get it, I'll let them know.
Yeah. Él dice que gracias porque los tabacos, los puros que le mandaste para que llegara el otro día, sí lo recibieron y todo, pero la caja no le ha llegado. Ya él puso un mensaje al correo para reclamar todo eso, pero en cuanto la reciba te dejará saber.
Dile que lo importante es que por lo menos tienen un tabaco para que lo fumen hoy.
Yes, the important thing is that at least you have something that you can try today and enjoy. So,
yes, so I'm smoking the Sentimiento.
The big one. The big one. Toro size.
Yes.
Yeah.
So is this a Habano or a Connecticut?
Él quiere saber si el sentimiento que él está fumando. Check this out, guys. I have my own. So, él quiere saber si el sentimiento es la capa es Habano o si es o es Connecticut.
No, dile que es una capa. Esta es una capa Habano, pero es clara.
He says that the wrapper is a Habano, but it's a lighter Habano, but it is definitely a Habano wrapper.
I told you that one's in my box. I didn't smoke that one yet.
You know what? I said to my son when I took it out, I said, this looks like a very light Habano. And I'm not a big Connecticut fan, so I'm like, this is a Habano. And I didn't taste it until I brought you guys on. But I got to say, when we got his cigars the other day, I smoked a small one. What was it, Joe? I smoked the small one. Oh my God, man! I was like blown away. I was like, whoa.
That's the one. I have a picture as well. That is a flavor bomb. Él dice que él se imaginó lo que tú acabas de explicar. Que él le había explicado al otro señor que la capa lucía como un habano, pero más claro de lo que estaba acostumbrado, me imagino, el público, pero le encantó. Él le gusta mucho el habano, le encantó. También mencionó que se fumó lo que le llamo el caramelito tuyo, el pequeño, y dice que fue especial. So.
Dile que esos tabacos son ediciones limitadas y dile que estas capas son sacadas por una variedad que tenemos nosotros y es sembrado en Nicaragua.
He says those cigars, the smaller one, that's like a special edition. And what he uses for the blend, especially for the wrapper, it's his own special edition, limited edition from grown by him in Nicaragua.
Wow. So, So let me ask you this. What's up, man? So tell us a little bit about yourself and you know, tell us how you already said it, how you got in it, but tell us what made you want to put out your own cigars in 2000, what was it, 2000?
2010. Él quiere que si le puede dar una pequeña explicación, ¿qué te atrajo a ti para poner tu propia marca cuando lo hiciste en el 2010? ¿Qué es lo que tú querías hacer cuando creaste esa marca?
Bueno, mi compañía se llama El Galán Cigar y como ya te comenté anteriormente, yo vengo de una cuarta generación de una familia cubana por parte madre y parte padre. Y entonces, a raíz de ahí, como desgraciadamente en nuestro país, en Cuba, no se puede crear marcas propias, al salir de Cuba, tuve esa iniciativa para hacer saber al mundo el nombre de mi familia y representar a mi familia.
So he states that he actually, his mom and dad, those generations on both his father's side and his mother's side are both tobacco growers and cigar makers. But unfortunately, in Cuba, you cannot create your own personal brand. Everything is government controlled. So when he came to the United States, he wanted to pay homage to his family and to that history. So he created the company, which is called El Galán Cigars. And it's, even though he didn't mention, I can mention real quick, El Galán is like a gentleman that dresses extremely well. Very, you know, and in the cigar industry in Cuba, they're known, the oldest generation, for always dressing very nice when they do the events. And that name was what they used to call his grandfather, El Galán, the handsome one. So that's the name. And he'll tell you about other things, but other names are also family related, but I'll let it come up to that. But yes, that's what happened. So as an honor and homage to his family, he created his own brand here where he could, in the United States, where he was free to have his own brand.
Okay, so has he gotten to any stores in the United States? Is he in any stores or, you know?
Yes, but I'll let him. Él quería saber si estás en tiendas en los Estados Unidos y yo le voy a, si me permite, yo le doy
Esta tienda que te va a comentar Juan, esas son 3 tiendas que voy a tener un evento en New Jersey el 12 de junio, que es el jueves que viene, el viernes que viene y el sábado que viene voy a estar en New Jersey haciendo 3 eventos. Pero aquí en Estados Unidos estoy en muchos lugares. Dile que en Atlanta, en la Florida, en Colorado, en Connecticut, en muchos lugares y poco a poco ir avanzando más.
Yeah, so I'm sure the states you recognize, but he's in Georgia, he's in Florida, Colorado, Connecticut, and in the state of New Jersey, he has 3 upcoming events. And if you allow me to,
yes,
on
go ahead,
Thursday,
absolutely.
Yes, on Thursday, June 12th, he'll be at the Cigar Emporium, and that's at 607 Ridge Road, and that it's in Lyndhurst, New Jersey.
Okay.
On the 13th, he has another event coming up, which is at the cigar shop. And that's at 568 Bergen Boulevard. That's in Richfield, New Jersey.
Okay.
And the third one coming up will be Saturday, June 14th, and it's called Oro Cubano. And that's at 744 North Belsey Drive, which is in Vilnan, also New Jersey. So those three events coming up in the state are coming up, but he is definitely in lots of stores here in Florida and other states, and he'll be growing.
Wow, you know, that's amazing because, you know, Joey seen him on, like, we have a friend of ours.
I had seen a few people post his cigars all over Instagram. And somebody hit me up and was like, hey, you should try to have him on. I had his cigars. Or, you know, I tried one of his cigars that he had sent me and they were really good. You should reach out and you know, see if you can have him on the show.
So él me explica. Go ahead.
We try to do like a lot of the boutiques of companies, and I say boutique because, you know, we try to promote like you guys, like all the up and coming people. That's what we do. So, you know, so when Joey seen that, I was like, oh, let's research.
And honestly, the bands for his cigars were very intriguing.
Yes, the bands are very intriguing. And you know, most people say, how do you buy a cigar? I say, I look at the bands.
You see, I'm going to deviate. I'm going to let him know what you just said. Feli, él indica que él estaba diciendo al socio de él que vieron muchos de fotos de tus tabacos en Instagram y en las redes sociales, etcétera. Y un amigo de ellos le dijo, oye, este señor tiene buen producto y había fumado su tabaco, deberían tenerlo en el show. Y ellos empezaron a investigar, fumaron uno que ese amigo les regaló y así es como te fueron querían hablar con usted. Porque ellos dicen que a ellos les gusta ayudar a las personas que tienen los brands que le llaman el boutique. Otra cosa, que es lo que iba a hablar con él, porque a eso yo soy parecido, que le encantó es la banda tuya.
La banda.
Okay. Él le encantan los diseños, etcétera.
Gracias.
Entonces tú puedes explicar más.
Sí,
si quieres,
dile que estas bandas están diseñadas por Manny Diarte. Es un diseñador que siempre me ha hecho todo lo mío y con el cual siempre he trabajado.
He says, so basically, before I give you the answer, you're like me. I tell people men are visual, women feel with the heart. So I look at bands myself. So anyways, we have that in common. He also wanted me to let you know that, yes, these bands, actually, the bands are also, if you look at the one you're smoking, which is, I'm looking at it right now, that is, believe it or not, it's called Doña Nieves, okay?
Yeah.
That is his grandmother in the picture.
Really?
Yeah, they were all cigar growers, so that is an actual picture of his grandmother, yes.
Sí, explícale.
Sentimiento means feelings.
See what he's
and
talking
that one
about.
too, yes.
That's
so that
cool.
Yes. And the bands are designed by Manny Diarte. He's very, if you haven't heard the name, he's super well known in the industry as a great designer. And he's a personal friend of his, and he's designed all his bands, etc. Wow. But I wanted to let you know, eventually I was going to bring that up. That is his grandmother in the picture, as a homage to her.
That's cool. You know what?
Explícale, Juan, que parece un señor, porque era una señora trabajadora de campo, el cual yo le hice un atributo en honor a ella. Yo tengo varias marcas con ella, tengo Doña Nieve y Doña Nieve Sentimiento, pero el que está fumando, uno de ellos, es una edición limitada que yo saqué que se llama Doña Nieve Sentimiento Gran Reserva.
Mm-hmm. He says the same that I told you, that is a picture of his grandma. If you look at the picture, a lot of people say, because of the way she dressed to protect from the sun, some people say, oh, it looks like an older man, but it actually says his grandmother. And so like I said, it was homage to her.
Somebody said several of Saddam's Cohibas and Monte Cristos.
That's fun. I'm sure they've been aged properly. But the one that I would like, okay, the other one that
the Grand Reserva.
Okay. Yes, that is
un torpedo Doña Nieve en reserva de 5.5 por 52, pero eso es una edición limitada.
Yeah, that one is a limited edition. So trust me, It's a great cigar. I smoked them all, but that one is his. That is just a special edition. He only makes certain amounts, and that it's over. But it's really good. They're both.
So-
I mean, they're all excellent.
So let me ask you this. Excuse me. So the Grand Reserve, how many did he put out? And you can't buy them no more once they're done, right?
La gran reserva, él quiere hacer más o menos cuántos hicieron y si cuando se acabe lo que tú has puesto en el mercado, no hay más que se pueda conseguir.
En este caso consiste que cuando uno hace una edición limitada, uno lo hace porque son tabacos añejados, el cual tú no puedes, en caso mío, yo no lo puedo alcanzar, como digo yo, muy común, ¿entiendes? Entonces hay que esperar a tener un cierto tiempo y añejamiento para sacar una edición limitada. Estos tabacos salieron 8,000 puros de cada uno.
Okay, in that particular cigar, each Pistola had 8,000 cigars. He says the process of aging is I mean, he's very picky. I know that. It's the process of aging is very delicate for him. So he'll only do a certain amount. And then in order for him to put him out in the market, he needs to make sure that the aging is again properly done to put out the limited edition once again. It'll come out, but he waits for the right time. Otherwise, he's not going to put it out.
So
I like the fact that he takes a lot of pride in his
always
and the blending of the cigars and all that, because you get a lot of these companies that you see on social media or wherever, they're either white labeling projects, like buying from somebody and putting their own stuff on it, or they're blending it, so to say, but then they're rushing it out. They're not taking the time to let it properly age and sit and let everything kind of, I guess, mix together, so to say.
Correcto. Él me explica lo que yo le expliqué, lo que usted dijo, y entonces él quiere que sepas que le agrada conocer a alguien como tú, que tú haces el añejamiento como debe ser, todo lo preparas antes de sacarlo al mercado, que tú tienes ese orgullo donde tú no vas a poner un producto donde primero que te da mal nombre y algo que ellos no lo puedan disfrutar.
Claro.
So, él dice que eso lo admira de ti.
Gracias. Dile que somos una compañía pequeña, somos boutique, el cual representa un nombre que para mí es bien grande, que tengo un legado familiar que el cual respeto mucho y tampoco voy a salir al mercado a decir que tiene 10 años, 8 años un tabaco cuando no lo tiene, ¿ves? Me gusta, si es poca cantidad, por lo menos que la persona que lo va a fumar lo va a detectar. No es algo que va a decir, no, le puso tantos años, es una edición limitada, pero esto no tiene ni un año de añejamiento.
So basically, it's more or less, he's telling me what you said yourself. He says that, first of all, he has a lot of pride because it's his family name. And he will not put a product out there that hasn't been aged properly, blended properly. Just like you said, he goes, I know a lot of people wait 1, 2, 3 years and they put it out and they claim it's 10 years. He goes, I don't do that. If I put something in the market, I know it will be detected, but those that know, like you guys, so when you smoke, you're going to say, wow, this is the real deal, not something that was rushed. So he'll never do that because it represents his family name and he will not make them look bad.
So how many years does he let the leaf age before he puts it out?
¿Quieres saber como cuántos años tú dejas que descanse, no el producto, antes de poner cuántos años antes de ponerlo al mercado?
Sí, mira, mis tabacos regulares, cuando hablo regulares, no quiere decir que no sean tabacos añejados. Simplemente cuando yo uso algo para una edición limitada, son tabacos ya de más de 4 años, ¿ves? ¿Por qué? Porque cuando uno va a sacar una edición limitada, yo creo que todo cliente, todo amante a cada una marca que elija, pues está esperando algo diferente, ¿ves?
Mm-hmm.
Y entonces, pues, el objetivo mío, dile que el objetivo mío es hacerle llegar a alguien el producto, pero que cuando lo prueben, por lo menos sean parte de mi familia, sean parte de mi trabajo. Y el objetivo es que se enamoren del producto, ¿eh?
Right. So for the limited editions, at least 4 years. Nothing. It has to be at least 4 years, if not a little more. But he goes, otherwise he'll not put it out. Why? Because when you smoke these cigars, you become part of his family, part of his legacy, and he wants the public to enjoy it and not feel that they were I'm going to use my own word, like cheated, by selling something that it was not. So the limited minimum 4 years and up. Otherwise, he will not put him in the market.
Okay, so we have a question here from somebody. It says, how will the tariffs affect the cigar market?
¿Quiere saber alguien del público? Quería saber cómo las tarifas van a perjudicar el mercado de los tabacos.
Pero mira, hay que esperar porque tú sabes que hay, como te puedo decir, nadie todavía sabe las altas y las bajas. Al final lo que atiende a verse y a mirarse en el momento, que puede que suba un poco las tarifas, pero bueno, hay que esperar a ver todo esto en qué termina, porque todos sabemos cómo están actualmente las cosas.
He says that they're going to have to wait till everything settles down as far as like how much exactly the tariffs are going to be to see how it's going to change the game and if the customer will be passed on, the cost of the tariffs. But he goes, it's a waiting game. It's still up and down. They don't know really yet, but he'll deal with it when it comes down. Okay. On a side note, and I know I'm deviating talking about somebody else, but Steve Saka did a really good thing of explanation of the tariffs.
Yes, I was just gonna say. I was just gonna say, if you go to Steve Saka's page, I think it's the Dunbarton page, he did he wrote up a great explanation of how it's going to affect the tariffs.
So go ahead and tell everybody.
I couldn't remember any of that if you tried. His explanation was so detailed and broke down.
Really?
That he said you're not going to know, I think, until like 2026 or something like that when it finally settles down.
Right.
It was crazy.
But
right now, I know, like, for example, in the industry, pretty much everything that's here already, some of them are down here in the warehouses. That's the regular price. Let's call it that, okay? So new products that maybe they're making and ones that takes effect, those are the ones that will be affected. So everybody's doing, okay, if you want to be fair, whatever you have already, pre-tariffs, you sell them at that cost. And then when things change, then you deal with it. You do your math and you deal with it.
So the brand name for him is El Galan Cigars.
Correct.
Yes. Can people order directly from him?
Félix, los tabacos tuyos se pueden ordenar directo a través de alguien que los tenga o tienen que ir físicamente a las tiendas.
No, por ejemplo, las tiendas Hoxel lo pueden comprar directamente a mi compañía y también por online también. Por ejemplo, hay una compañía que se llama Cuenca Cigar, que es una tienda que está aquí en la Florida. Lo tiene local, pero también lo tiene a nivel de página web, lo tiene en internet, se puede pedir. Hay muchas tiendas que tienen páginas y lo pueden también encontrarlo online.
Okay, so he states that if anybody wants to buy wholesale, his company will sell wholesale. But in this case, it's for a customer, and I forgot about. There is a store down here in Florida. It's in Broward County. It's called Cuenca Cigars. They carry, tons of cigars. They have great prices. They do have these cigars, and they do sell online. Anything they have in store, they do sell online. So it's called Cuenca Cigars, Cuenca, Cuenca Cigars.
Okay.
And they do sell online. Yes.
He'll post it up when we're done. This way it's on there so people
when I go back 45-minute mark.
Oh, guys, we got a
commercial break.
Commercial break to pay the bills.
And then we'll be back.
We'll be right back.
All right. Van a hacer unos pequeños anuncios.
Okay.
It ain't fair
killings in our street anymore. We need love and understanding. 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 It ain't fair. It ain't fair. It ain't fair. It ain't fair. I don't know what I'm gonna do. All these people are so damn cruel. If we had loving, we wouldn't have war. We wouldn't have killings in our street anymore. We need love and understanding. 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 Where do we go? What do we do? Where do we go? Now I'm telling you, yeah. It ain't fair. It ain't fair. It ain't fair. I said now it ain't fair. I met a man walking down the street, the kind of man that I hate to meet. If he had money, then he wouldn't be poor. He wouldn't be stealing in our streets anymore. We need love and understanding. 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 Where do we go? What do we do? Where do we go? Now I'm telling you, yeah, we need more love and understanding. Yo, we are back. We are back. I am your host, the big dog, the vanilla gorilla, and this is Turnbuckles and Stogies Pod, top 100 on the internet. So check us out. And today we have my man with us who owns El
Galan
Galan
Cigars.
Cigars, Felix, and his interpreter. So for y'all that don't understand, that's why we have him in there, because he doesn't speak English. So that's why we have him there. But it's okay. But it's okay because we bring everybody on. So now
There you
let's
go.
get back to it. Let's go.
Oh, that's what I was pulling up.
What? Somebody asked a question?
No. Well, no, but where are they? So he's got a very big catalog for as I say, a smaller company. He's got a very wide catalog of cigars. And I noticed he's got a lot of ratings on his cigars as well.
Correct.
So I was just going to say, tell us a little more about all of that stuff.
Él dice que él está viendo tu catálogo de tus productos y dice que para una compañía que es de boutique pequeña como la tuya tienes una alta variedad. No solo eso, que él también ha notado que no solamente tienes alta variedad, pero que todos tienen rating. Entonces él quiere saber que le expliques más de las otras, de
Sí.
los otros productos que tú ofreces.
Yo tengo el primer tabaco que yo inicié, dile que se llama el Galán Semilla Cubana, que es este.
Uh-huh.
Este es el único anillo, dile que no hizo maniliarte,
Uh-huh.
pero es semilla cubana, fue mi primer marca.
He goes, the one that he just showed you is by Galan. It's called Semilla Cubana, which means Cuban seed. He goes, that was the first one he put out in the market, and those are the only bands not designed by by Iriarte. Feli, ¿le quiere explicar? Esos se venden todavía mucho en España, ¿no es correcto? Y aquí
Correcto.
también, obviamente.
Yo vendo mis tabacos, dile que en diferentes países también, en Alemania, en España, en República Dominicana, en Aruba, bueno, en Estados Unidos, pero estoy en Estados Unidos es el mercado más amplio. Pero tengo, aparte del Galán Semilla Cubana, dile que tengo Doña Nieve Sentimiento. Tengo también, dile que una marca que se llama el Galán Reserva Especial, que es del anillo rojo.
Uh-huh.
Y también tengo una marca que la hice en honor a mis abuelos, que se llama Vegas del Purial, a mis abuelos paternos.
Uh-huh. Okay, so he's telling me, I'll go with the last one before I forget. So he did one, it's called Vegas del Purial. Vegas means, that's the name of their farm in Cuba. So he did that in honor of his grandparents. If whenever you can get a hold of that one, that is an amazing, amazing cigar. The other one that you don't have, maybe it's coming up with what he's sending you, it's got a red band, and that's the one with the silhouette of El Galán, the handsome man. That was in order for his grandfather. That is also exquisite, but it's a red band. It's a red band, and the ones that he showed.
That's not that one, right?
Correct.
That's the one. Yes, that's the one. Yeah.
I don't know. I see red.
You're on point. That is.
You know what?
He's on point, Phil.
I seen a red band, and
He's on point.
Also,
because I asked him about Semilla Cubana because I know. So Semilla Cubana, yes, they're all rated. He also wants to let you guys know that he's sold in Germany, in Spain, in the Caribbean, but in the reason I asked him if I could say it, Semilla Cubana, especially, he's got a huge following market in Spain, and Semilla Cubana is super popular over there. You'll smoke it. That one is really, really good. That was the first one he came up with, but in Spain, it's got a great following in Europe also. He just wanted to let you know.
Let me ask you this. So I've been smoking cigars 30 years. He's been smoking cigars since he's 18. He's only 26.
Holding strong and even.
So my thing is
beautiful
this.
Rings you make.
So everybody says that all cigars are Cuban seed. Is that true?
They're adaptations of the Cuban seed.
Él quiere saber, por ejemplo, muchos cigarros lo promueven como que tienen productos de semilla cubana en su cultivación, que si eso es así. Y si tú quieres dar tu explicación, qué es lo que pasa después de ciertas, ¿cómo se llama?
No, a ver.
Después de ciertas tiempos. Cuéntale tú.
Explícale que no es un secreto para nadie que todo nace desde Cuba. Y muchas variedades, porque hay compañías que han creado su propia semilla. Yo tengo algunas variedades que son mías propias, pero todos sabemos que las variedades que se siembran en Honduras, que se siembran en Nicaragua, en Dominicana, algunas partes también mínimas, pero también se siembra en Costa Rica y en muchos países se siembra tabaco, también se usa semilla cubana. ¿Qué quiere decir? Se siembran las variedades corojo, las variedades tradicionales de los tiempos de antes, criollo, 98, pero aparte de esas dos variedades, existen muchas más.
Okay, he says yes. What happens is those are all varietal seeds from the original Cuban seeds, and they're planted in Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and other countries. They're varietal seeds from the Cuban seeds, including he has his own varietal seeds that he grows himself for his company, and it's a variety. And there are other cigar makers that have made their own varietal seeds originating from the Cuban seeds. So yes.
Okay. That's what I want to know because, like people say, oh, have you smoked a Cuban? I'm like, every cigar has a Cuban seed in it. And I just want to make sure I'm correct.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yes. And for the most, yes, because a lot of them came or brought from Cuba, what have you, especially when they went to Nicaragua and stuff like that. So, but they have their own varietals.
Right.
And what you also have to know is that whatever seeds you have, they're going to be complemented by the soil they're grown in. But so they're varietal from Cuban seeds, but now they've
grown their
they have their own character, their own character, and they become their own variety. But yes, they've made their own variety.
I've also heard Puerto Rico started growing. I also heard Puerto Rico started growing their own leaves.
Él dice que también ha oído que en Puerto Rico están creciendo ya tabaco.
Sí,
Eso era de antes, Félix.
Sí, dile que
Eso lo hacían antes.
Antiguamente en Puerto Rico tiene buenas tierras. Yo conozco a unos muchachos allí que casualmente fui hasta la finca de ellos. Ellos me pidieron que fuera allá. Ellos son familia, uno de ellos familia de Rita, que viven en Puerto Rico. Buenos muchachos, ellos me atendieron muy bien porque yo vendo el producto mío en Puerto Rico también. Y siembran allí y hacen su propio tabaco.
Yes. So he says that actually Puerto Rico had its own history of growing cigars. They have great soil. He had the honor. He was invited. He sells his product in Puerto Rico, and he met 2 young gentlemen that have their own farm, and they asked him to visit the farm, and so he gave them some tips on the growing of the cigars and what have you. Because even though he hasn't mentioned, I'll mention it for you guys. Felix, I mean, this is the true guy that is from, when they say from seed to box, that's him. Yes. He is the one in charge of creating the varietal seeds. He is doing the planting, the irrigation. He explained all this to me in detail. That he's like, what? Because each part of the soil, of the area that he grows the soil, it doesn't require the same amount of water. That at the time, he's like an encyclopedia. I just shut my mouth up when he talks, so he's from the seeds to the planting, to the pruning, to the aging, to the blending. He's from point A to point Z.
So
he does everything.
Done it all.
Yes. So a lot of people contacted him. He's got a great heart. I'm saying this from myself, and he will help anybody. Sometimes in this industry, a lot of people will not thinking, oh no, I'm not going to be. There's no secret. Okay. There's techniques, but there's no secret. But if you ask for his help, trust me, this gentleman will give you his advice, and he's great. So I love him like a brother. So I deviated, but I just want to say he's a great guy, and you should try his product. It's really good.
That's good, because you know what, like him and I, like we know Jonathan Drew, we know Willie Herrera, Pedro.
Yes.
We know all of them guys, and they tell us the same thing. But then you get guys that start their own cigar company, and they send you cigars to come on a podcast, and you ask them what's in it, and they go, I can't tell you because I signed the NDA. So then why are you on a podcast?
You can't, they're like, oh, I signed this. Then you can't really talk about your cigars. You can only sell them.
Right.
There you go.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and me and Joey were just talking on a break that Felix is, besides Rick and Mike Giannini, oh my God,
he's very knowledgeable when it comes to
very knowledgeable when it comes
everything
to cigars.
From the start to the finish.
Yo te quiero explicar, porque hablé un poquito más sin que tú me dijeras, pero expresé cómo yo te admiro. Y entonces yo digo que tú eres el tipo de persona que tú eres de punto A a punto Z. Tú estás en todo el proceso de tu tabaco, desde la semilla, la cultivación, cuando lo cortas, todo hasta que llegan a las cajas, las ligas, etcétera. Y ellos me indicaron que, sabiendo y hablando de ti, dice, tú eres una de las pocas personas que ellos conocen que tú eres una enciclopedia, que tú tienes mucho conocimiento de la industria. Yo también le expliqué que tú eres un tipo de persona que otras personas esconden, entre paréntesis, secretos, pero que alguien te pregunta algo y tú lo ayudas, le das conocimiento. Tú eres único en ese sentido, y eso también lo admiran de ti.
Gracias, Juan. Dile que el sol sale para todo el mundo, y yo creo que no es secreto para nadie. El tabaco no viene de la luna, ni viene de Plutón. Todo es el amor, y todo es la pasión que tú le quieras demostrar a lo que tú haces.
So he appreciates what you said, and I explained to him that what you said about his knowledge and things like that. And then he said the same thing I told you guys. He goes, there are no secrets here. I mean, there are no secrets in the industry. It's just what you're willing to help people with.
Right.
And that's
And
the bottom line with him.
You know, our podcast, when we started this 2 years ago, I never thought it would be so big. I only started because of my son. He wanted to do a cigar podcast.
Well,
So
it started out as wrestling originally.
I used to do wrestling. So him and another guy used to do, like, they used to just talk on Instagram. Then they said, why don't we do a podcast? So then I'm sitting there just minding my business, having a drink and a cigar, and they're like, his other friend goes, bring your dad on. He can get the wrestlers on. We've had wrestlers on here too. And so this is how it all started. And, you know, being that we go to so many events, we've met so many people in the cigar world and the wrestling world. They're like, yo, your podcast. And we had, what's his name? Dr. GTO?
We haven't had him on yet.
No, but what's his name?
Oscar Rodriguez.
Oscar Rodriguez.
Dr. Oscar from GTO Cigars.
So Joey was on one day and he goes, pardon me, he goes, I got to tell you, Turnbuckles and Stogies is a good podcast.
You know, you don't realize who watches your stuff when you're not paying attention. You know, like
you're on point right there. There's a lot of people that watch and don't want to admit that they watch.
Yeah, and it was in the middle of like a meeting for one of the organizations we're a part of, and he was driving and he hopped on. He's like, I just want to say, you know, I listen to Turnbuckles and Stogies and it's really good. I was like, oh wow, okay, you know, because like you said, you don't know who's listening or who's trying your stuff or whatever you're doing. You don't know who's paying attention to it.
Ellos dicen que ellos están en este giro hace unos años. El señor de la izquierda empezó con su hijo. Él, en facto, él era luchador. Ellos traen luchadores y después cuando ha hecho de tabaco. Pero él admira lo que tú acabas de decir también, que no hay secreto en la industria y que tú estás para ayudar. Pero él dice que otras personas le han dicho lo mismo. Jonathan, Drew y Willie también han mencionado lo mismo que yo dije, que muchas personas se creen que es un secreto y yo le dije, no es un secreto, aquí no hay secreto, lo que hay es técnica, pero tú deberías ayudar a las otras personas.
Claro, el secreto es lo que la diferencia la vas a marcar a partir de lo que tú quieras demostrar por lo que tú haces. Y de ahí en fuera ya lo demás es cada cual pone su parte.
Once again, he just wanted to close with saying, yeah, like there is no secrets. It's your knowledge, and then it's what you want to part with. But there are no secrets. It's just knowledge.
Y también,
well, that's a good thing, man. That's a good thing because, you know, a lot of people, like I said to you before, he's enjoying that cigar, by the way. He's enjoying that cigar.
Nice.
The ash is just, it's holding.
Juan,
dice que está aguantando dura.
Sí, Juan, explícale también que 100% no todo el tabaco lo siembro yo, porque soy una compañía pequeña, tengo otras compañías, las cuales también tengo la gran oportunidad de obtener tabacos por ellos. Son compañías también medianas y las hay grandes y los hay chiquitos porque también me gusta apoyar al pequeño.
He also wanted to make sure that he tells you and the public, yeah, even though he does grow his own product, but he does purchase from friends of his that have either boutique, small, lands or sometimes a bigger land to support friends. So sometimes he'll buy their product to make certain, some of his blends as well.
And that's something you don't get sometimes a lot in this industry is people helping each other by buying their products or, whether it's their full cigar that they see in the shop or like he does with the seeds or the tobacco itself to be able to help them and make their products go up by saying, hey, I got this tobacco from whoever, now that drives people to try their cigars too.
So, here's the thing. We belong to TPA, which is Tobacco Products Association.
Correct.
BAMF, which is Ismail Olivan. He started that. And if he wants to join, he can join. Just tell him I sent you. And Isha has his own cigar lounge now, and he only puts boutique cigars in there. So if he joins, I think it's like $50, and he puts his cigars in there, and he sells the cigars.
Él también te quiere, antes que nada dicen que eso es algo bueno de tu parte, que eso no es muy común, donde otras personas que tienen su propio producto compran de otras compañías que tienen productos. Eso enseña que tú también estás dispuesto a ayudar a otras personas en el mercado. También me indica que él es miembro de TPA. Y él tiene un amigo que se llama Ish. Él dice que para hacerse miembro creo que son como $50 y él lo conoce él personalmente y tiene tienda y ahí tiene posibilidad entonces de entrar tu producto si estás interesado en hacer algo así también.
Claro
Él
que
te
sí,
estaba,
siempre estamos dispuestos a apoyar. También explícale que quiero hacer mención que, bueno, porque siempre hablo de Cuba porque de ahí vengo, pero también no podemos dejar de mencionar, Juan, que México tiene su variedad de tabaco como San Andrés. También estamos hablando de Brasil, que tiene la Piraca y Matafina. Estamos hablando de muchos países, Ecuador, que tienen buena capa. Estamos hablando también que hasta inclusive hay tabacos buenos que se siembran en Perú. Hay muchos países que no se pueden dejar de mencionar porque no es un secreto para nadie. No es un secreto para nadie que también están luchando por un sueño también.
Okay, so number one, he says, yeah, I don't know if you can send him or me, I'll send it to him, the information on the TPA. He's interested.
Joey
okay. Okay, perfect. And then the other thing he wants to make sure, he goes, I have pride where I come from, but there's other countries that he wants to mention that are making great products and we should leave behind.
Go ahead, mention them, brother.
Nicaragua, in Mexico, we all know the freaking San Andres Maduro is amazing. Also, Matafina, yes.
San Andreas Maduro's
oh God,
fantastic.
Jesus, yes.
I'll be talking to you guys. I got something for you. And also definitely Brazil with Matafina and even Peru. A lot of people don't know, but Peru makes outstanding Habano wrappers.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I know Brazil makes the Matafina wrappers.
The Matafina, that's what he mentioned. And of course, Mexico with the San Andres. But Perú, le menciono que Perú tiene una capa muy bella que es un habano.
Perú, no sabía. Perú mayormente lo que se siembra es tripa.
Oh, okay. So in Peru it's mainly for fillers.
Yeah.
For fillers.
Puede salir banda, te puede salir banda de ahí también y a lo mejor con mucho cuidado en el futuro porque tampoco es una... A ver, no hay muchas compañías que lo hacen y entonces pues todavía no han llegado, pienso yo, a lo mejor lo están haciendo ya y no lo sé, para capa, pero es buena tierra también.
But it's a good soil, a lot for fillers, and they're up and coming now in Peru.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Colombia también siembra su tabaco.
And even Colombia has their own cigars. Yes, I had a friend that
really?
Y Estados Unidos, bueno, yes. No es secreto para nadie.
Well, and then you guys, I don't know, he goes the United States, obviously in Connecticut, but also down here in Florida and Pennsylvania, yes. Of course, the Pennsylvania.
En Florida también se está sembrando también.
Yeah, he goes in Florida also. So in Florida, there are tobacco fields here in Florida.
Todo tiene un nacimiento.
With Jeff Borowitz from Corona Cigars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he wants to give credit to everybody.
Yes, Corona Cigar Company. That's one of the big retailers down in Florida.
Yeah. Well, he grows his own cigars. Yeah.
Really?
It's called Florida grown. Florida grown, yeah.
Wow. That's interesting.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Ellos no sabían que en la Florida también se podía crecer tabaco.
Lo siembra este señor, lleva años sembrándolo ya y tiene su propia marca con esa variedad. Creo que hay otras compañías que también lo han aportado en sus productos.
Sí, yo sé quién es.
Dime, Juan, dime.
No, yo sé quién lo. He wants to know, give credit. Yeah, Jeff grows his own cigars. It's Florida grown. And he goes, I think there's a company that supports, but it's through State.
So he did like the Florida sun grown and stuff like that.
Florida sun grown.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tiene que todo parte de la pasión que tú le quieras demostrar. Jeff le muestra pasión a lo que está haciendo también y eso es parte del trabajo.
Look, he's still going like this.
Están impresionados con la ceniza, Félix. Dice que ellos le hacen así, no quieres. Mira.
Va a llegar el momento que se va a caer.
He goes, there's going to come a moment where it's going to fall. So this is the way I feel. I just let it drop. I say it's for good luck. So then but unfortunately, a lot of times we come to an option. Damn it, do I lose the ash because I got to take the bat real carefully, or just smoke the damn bat?
I know. I usually try to do it carefully. I just want to see how long I can
Le
get
digo,
it to
Feli,
go
que
before it
cuando
falls.
uno tiene la ceniza tan bella, tenemos dos opciones. Deja que te caiga para buena suerte, o otra opción es cuando llega la banda, o quita la banda y se te puede caer, o te fuma la banda para que no se caiga.
Lo que pasa es que en muchas ocasiones uno, porque no se le caiga, uno la va retirando, y para que el tabaco no se te apague, porque vaya un momento se te va a apagar.
Right. He goes, the reason
This right here for Habano.
This is very good.
Le encanta el sentimiento de tu honor a tu abuela, dice que está excelente.
Honor que me hace.
And he goes, like the ash is going to fall for 2 reasons. It's just going to fall, or also maybe, and then he'll keep smoking perfect. But you guys you're getting to that, you're getting to the decision time soon.
That's okay. Now, this is a Habano as well, the Gran Reserva?
La Gran Reserva quiere saber si también es un habano, Feli.
Es Nicaragua, Jalapa.
Jalapa.
No, es Jalapa, pero corojo, es una variedad de corojo que se llama corojo 99.
Ese es el wrapper.
El wrapper.
Okay, so the wrapper is a varietal called corojo 99. It's from
es del Galán Reserva Especial.
99.
The one that, from the Reserva Especial.
Wow.
The one that you showed me,
Esa variedad le hago mención porque lo conozco personalmente y cada vez que lo puedo mencionar y hacerle saber a todo el mundo quién la hizo, es un señor que conozco que se llama Vivaldo. Está en Nicaragua él actualmente, pero es cubano. Fue el que hizo las variedades corojo. Corojo 2006, corojo 99, corojo 2012. Inclusive el corojo que se está sembrando en Cuba hoy, que es corojo 2020, también lo hizo Vivaldo antes de salir de Cuba.
Okay. So he wants to give credit to where credit is due, and he wants to mention the gentleman's last name is Vivaldo. He's Cuban-born. He lives in Nicaragua. All the corojo varietals from there are his. And he also wants to mention that before he left Cuba, he left them with one of his own corojo varietals. But those varietals are he purchases from Vivaldo, a gentleman in Nicaragua that is like, I guess, the father of the corojo varietals. And he just wants to give him credit. That one in particular is the Corojo 99.
This cigar is, it's got the flavor. It's got a little bit of that, I say the pepper for that punch, but it's not overpowering. It all complements each other well.
Dice que para él es un gran complemento el producto tuyo porque tiene un sabor exquisito. Y tiene una fortaleza donde no es
agresiva.
Agresiva, pero que el sabor es excelente. Y tiene un poquitico lo que le gusta a la persona, dice peppery, un poquitico como de pimientica. Así es que lo detecta un poquito, que está excelente. Le encanta la infusión.
Dile que gracias también. Thank you.
He says, much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Wow, this is...
All right, guys. So listen, we're going to take our break. If you guys want to come back, that's cool. If not, listen, I take my hat off to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. Muchas gracias.
I had a blast learning
I learned a lot about his brand. And I'm going to promote it every time I smoke one.
That's for sure.
All right. Dice que le encantó todo, que cada vez que lo fume lo va a promover, te va a mencionar, que lo han disfrutado mucho. Él va a coger un break un momentito, si quiere regresar bien, si no puedes terminar también.
No, yo estoy, si quieren y lo desean, voy a seguir aquí, no se preocupen.
He says that after the break, if you want to continue, he'll continue with you guys. He'll leave it up to you guys, okay? He's here for you guys. So
whatever.
Or if you have anything.
No, we can keep going, sure.
Yeah, we can keep going. That's fine. Let's take a break and we'll be right back.
A quick break.
Okay. Dice, van a tomar un pequeñito break y continuamos.
Okay, gracias, Juan.
Signed up to fight for freedom. What a price you had to pay. Picture in her helmet, missing family every day. Your Lady Liberty, dressed like G.I. Jane. Some scars we'll never see. She will never be the same. She's a mother, she's a daughter, she's a sister and a friend, standing tall in that uniform until the very end. When Uncle Sam called, she signed that line to serve, 'cause you can't spell hero without her. On that old dusty base with the meadows that shine, she's been to hell and back for the stars and the stripes. Your Lady Liberty, dressed like G.I. Jane, and some scars we'll never see, and she will never be the same. She's a mother, she's a daughter, she's a sister and a friend, standing tall in that uniform until the very end. When Uncle Sam called, she signed that line to serve, 'cause you can't spell hero without her. Yeah, yes. For the ones that didn't make it, we will pause and then we cry. We can still see their smile in every sunrise. She's a mother, she's a daughter, she's a sister and a friend, standing tall in that uniform until the very end. When Uncle Sam called, she signed that line to serve, 'cause you can't spell hero without her. 'Cause you can't spell hero without her.
Your microphone's over there.
Yo, we are back. We are back. It is I, the big dog, the vanilla gorilla, and we are here with Felix Messer, the owner of the cigar company, El Galan.
Hey, yeah, I was gonna say you try very hard. You're trying.
I try very
You're doing
hard.
great. You're doing
He's
excellent.
trying.
Trust me.
He doesn't. His words sometimes don't make sense. It's okay.
Oh, then I'm in trouble. He's been making sense to me. Oh boy.
So you can only order from the place in Florida,
From
correct?
Cuenca Cigar Shop, right?
Well, that one in particular he mentioned, because definitely they do take orders,
Okay.
like email orders and what have you. She said there's other shops that will do it that he's at, but that one in particular, trust me, guys, if you contact them, they're great. That's why if you want something that will get to you safely and they have good prices, definitely use them.
Okay. So now, let me ask about this one because I'm curious.
Which one?
Well, because I noticed you have the box press Toro size, I guess, of this one.
Que también tienes
And
el
then-
prensado en tamaño toro.
Ese tabaco que sacó que se llama Doña Nieve Sentimiento es de mis cajas regulares, son el que siempre tengo, que se llama, ese tabaco se llama, tiene una bichola que se llama Emoción, la otra se llama Aprecio y la otra Ternura.
And then you have that size.
Un figurado.
Right. That's the figurado, yes.
Yes. What made him do both sizes?
¿Qué es lo que te atrajo a ti a hacer ambas vitolas?
Bueno, en la caja regular que se llama Doña Nieve como tal, yo saqué un tabaco en un robusto que se llama Nievita, porque yo le decía a mi abuela Nievita. Esos nombres todos están registrados. La vitola, en vez de llamar robusto, se llama Nievita.
So in the robusto, he named the Nievitas, and that's what he used to call his grandmother. Then that's his regular box. Y el box press,
saqué, pero para ir por paso, para sacarle, para que ellos conozcan, la marca Doña Nieve tiene dos marcas. Tiene Doña Nieve y Doña Nieve Sentimiento. Lo que es Doña Nieve tiene Nievita, tiene una que se llama Minga, que es un tabaco grueso, que es 5 1/8 por 58. Minga, mi madre le decía Minga a su mamá.
So he's got Doña Nieves and then Doña Nieves Sentimiento. In the Doña Nieves, he has the Robusto named Mievita after his grandmother, and then Minga, they used to call his mom Minga, that was her nickname, and that's a 58 by, I believe, era por 58 por
5 y un
el
octavo.
Minga
5 y un
by
octavo.
5 and 1/8. They were both really,
Wow.
really nice.
Y también saqué en la línea de Doña Nieve un tabaco que se llama Negra Macha, porque el padre le decía que era un macho trabajando en el campo y siempre estaba curtida del sol.
So her nickname also came up with, it's called Negra Macha, means like tomboy, masculine female. And that was also named after his grandma.
So now,
that era no de
they
Vitola.
come in, what's the count on the boxes?
¿Cuántos puros por caja? ¿Cuál es el conteo?
Doña Nieve tiene la caja es de 24 puros. Y Doña Nieve
Nieves
Sentimiento, 21.
The Doña Nieves is 24 count. The Sentimientos is a 21 count.
Wow. Okay. And what's the
Doña
price range on that?
Y más o menos, ¿cuál es el rango de precios?
Los precios en la Florida, que no paga ¿sabe? Que lo que es la Florida, Pensilvania y Filadelfia, que no paga impuestos, un tabaco no pasa de $9.
¿De ninguno de ellos?
De ninguno de ellos.
He goes, in Florida and states like Pennsylvania, where there's no taxes per se for the tobacco, they go for about $9.
Wow. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's the other. That's why for Cuenca, buy it in Florida. You won't get those taxes.
Mi tabaco, el único tabaco que pasa de los $10 mío, que lo saco una sola vez al año, es Vega del Purial.
The only one that will surpass that price range, we only comes out once a year, is the one that the gentleman's smoking, which is the Vega del Purial. Yeah.
That one.
That one. Yep. That's the one. It comes out once a year.
The Grand Reserva.
He's enjoying that too, by the way. He said,
I can see that.
He goes, now it's decision time.
It's gone.
Dice que le encanta ese.
Gracias.
Están disfrutando.
I'm getting to the end of it.
Dile que no hay premio más grande para un tabaquero que haya alguien que aprecie y que le guste el producto que hace.
He says there's no bigger joy for a cigar maker that see that people are enjoying and smoking his product. So he's enjoying this.
I'm enjoying this cigar.
I'm thoroughly enjoying this one.
Listen, guys, we're gonna take you guys off now because we got like 4 minutes.
We're gonna wrap it up here.
We gotta wrap it up, and we gotta do some other commercial breaks. So, guys, thank you. I take my hat off
so much. We appreciate.
Thank you, guys.
Coming on, gracias, and
Much
I will let
success
you know
to
when I get the other package.
Okay. Dice que ya va a terminar, que tiene que cerrar y te va a indicar cuando reciba la caja, ¿oyó?
Dile que muchas gracias a ellos y muchas gracias a toda la audiencia que estuvo presente por esta invitación.
He says thank you to you guys for the invitation and much more also to your audience for having him present to explain about himself.
Thank you, guys. You have a blessed weekend.
Y a ti, Juan, por el
Thank you.
Gracias,
Siempre,
Juan. Gracias.
And take care, guys.
Thank you.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we do. We have everybody on here. That's how we do it. You heard? That's how we do it. You heard?
There we go.
That's how we do it. So we have everybody on. Y'all better go and order yourself some of these.
Yes, you need to go order some for sure.
Joey's going to post it up in the comments.
I thoroughly enjoyed these cigars. So that's been another great, fantastic episode.
Very knowledgeable.
Of Turnbuckles and Stogies with another very knowledgeable person in the cigar industry.
Four decades.
And you will be seeing a lot more of his cigars posted because I'm sure we're not the only ones that are enjoying them. So this one I'm smoking. When it's gone, it's gone. For another 4 years.
Say it again. What'd you say?
I think what is it? Every 4 years he said it comes
every
out.
4 years.
Or every year because he's got them aging.
Every 4 years.
But once they're gone until they come back out again.
So this is what Turnbuckles and Stogies do. I keep telling y'all, we know people. Y'all don't know people. We know people. Y'all want to hang out with us? Y'all know where we are. So on that note, it's 12:25. We'll talk to y'all next weekend. Enjoy your day. Have a blessed day. Yo, this has been Turnbuckles and Stogies Pod. I'm the big dog. He's the vanilla gorilla.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.